Emisión.net.
Hello again and welcome to Letter from England, broadcasting for AC Press under the auspices of the Spanish Evangelical Alliance. My name is Jonathan Dawson. First of all, I'd like to apologise for the lack of a broadcast last week due to technical reasons. But here we are again, and I'd like to catch up a little bit on perhaps a couple of weeks' news. There are various things happening in the Spanish evangelical world at the moment, primarily perhaps the first Protestant Congress in Madrid. There's the ongoing issue of the Religious Pluralism Trust and whether evangelical churches should or should not receive money directly from the state, as many organisations already are doing. And also there's the ongoing question as well of religious education in schools. This came to a head once again at a major march that was held in central Madrid a couple of weeks ago. But before we get on to the perhaps more serious side of it, I'd like to ask the question, how do you count the number of people at a demo? Well, I would suggest if you want to calculate the number of people on a march, take the police estimate, and then the organiser's own calculation, add them together and divide by 2. Because while it may be true that statistics are the third type of lie, there is one statistic on which you may depend. That is that when there is a demonstration, it is statistically certain that the figures given by the police and the organisers will bear absolutely no relation to each other. So it was after the recent march organised in Madrid by Catholic parents in protest at proposed government changes to religious education in the latest shake-up to the long-suffering education system. The police came out with a rather precise figure of 407,000, who they said participated in the march, whereas the organisers seem to have taken a proportion of the whole population of Madrid, to come up with a figure of 2 million. How is it possible that the numbers can be so different? Well, one understands that the police, conscious perhaps of the number of officers that they ought to have policing the march, want to talk the numbers down. Whereas, of course, the organisers want to do quite the opposite and talk the numbers up on the basis that their protest is really a very popular one. Well, whatever the numerical truth, the fact was that thousands of people did march behind banners to protest at the latest move by this government to incur the wrath of the Catholic establishment. The marchers enjoyed the support of the opposition Popular Party and of the Spanish Catholic hierarchy. Indeed, there was a veritable who's who of the high and mighty within the Catholic Church and within the Popular Party. Ángela Ceres, the General Secretary, Eduardo Zaplana, the parliamentary spokesman, the wife of ex-Prime Minister Aznar, Ana Botella, were all on the march themselves, as were 3 other ex-ministers and several Catholic bishops. Whether or not they'll move their government to do anything is highly unlikely. The Socialist Party seems determined to introduce, if not exactly a history of religion subject, at least a broader syllabus for religious studies in state schools, and is also not keen to see confessional RE as an option which should be part of the main syllabus, i.e. that it would have end-of-year exams that they would count towards the school certificate. And this last view is also shared in a recent statement by the Spanish Evangelical Alliance, perhaps a little more controversially, as many evangelicals would like to keep the opportunity to teach evangelical RE in schools. Interestingly enough, a recent piece of news from the province of León showed that several hundred, I think about 600 pupils, many of them from non-church backgrounds, or at least not with necessarily evangelical teaching outside school in their backgrounds, attending the classes. And really this is an opportunity that many other European countries would die for. This is particularly significant in Spain because of the gypsy population, and children from their families very often have little Bible teaching, but do want their children to be brought up as evangelicals, and the RE classes afford a wonderful opportunity to do so. So the Spanish Evangelical Alliance, while one understands their view of church-state separation, one wonders if they're throwing the baby out with the bathwater by insisting there should be no type of confessional RE in state schools. As long as it's optional, there seem to be more reasons for keeping it than for getting rid of it. Evangelicals do remain concerned at the lack of objective teaching about religion in general, however, and Protestantism in particular. And certainly, I would agree with the Evangelical Alliance's stance on that. They say in their statement that this is on top of centuries of misinformation about any religion which is not Catholic. And that's why they believe pupils should be taught about religion as it occurs, subjects such as art or history and so on, or even study a history of religion subject. Consensus would be required for this, says the Alliance statement, and they also express full agreement with government plans to make RE a non-evaluated subject. Well, whatever the rights and wrongs of religious education in schools, the situation at present is somewhat confused. And depending on the region of Spain in which you live, it very much depends on the opportunities that you have in practice to study the religion of your choice, or of none, if that's your option. Well, thank you again for listening. We'll be back next week with a report, I hope, on the First Protestant Congress of Madrid, which was held just in the last few days, and also news that AC Press is gaining a voice in the secular media, and we'll have exciting news about how a great opportunity to join some of the Spanish, or some of the leading Spanish media outlets has come to the wider AC Press work. Well, thank you again for listening. You can find us each week on emission.net or on the website protestantadigital.com. Goodbye for now.
Emission.net